Hi, everybody. Thanks very much for joining us on the Marketing Resolution YouTube channel. Today from France, I'm talking all the way across the pond to Erin Gleason, who's sitting in Brooklyn, New York. Hello, Erin. How are you?
Hi, Natalie. Very well, thank you.
Good. Thanks so much for taking some time for us all today. I wanted to chat to you a little bit about your practice. You have a really unique practice. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you very much for inviting me to participate. And I'm certainly glad to be here today. So I'll give you a little bit about my background.
Okay.
Let's see. I've been a lawyer for about 20 years now.
You don't look old enough to be able to say that, by the way.
Well, maybe it's Maybelline.
We'll let you have that, but no.
Let's see. So the first part, I worked as an advocate in litigated matters here in New York City. I did that for a number of years in commercial and employment disputes. And then I decided that I wanted to change things up a bit. So I moved from New York to Malibu and participated in the Strauss Institute's LLM program, where I focused on international arbitration. Stayed out for a couple of years, and then I don't really know how to drive a car, and I actually like snow, so came back to New York, and then I started working for AIG. And while I was at AIG, I was the global head of their alternative dispute resolution program. I was there for 10 years, and I at the conclusion of that period decided that the time was right for me to sort of strike out on my own. I had known that I would always like to work as a mediator and arbitrator, and so that was the time that I knew it was right for me to leave and to start this new endeavor. So It's been a good 2 years now. Yeah.
Right. Well, Malibu, I lived in Pacific Palisades, Brentwood, and Bel Air. Those are my old stomping grounds. And my dad is actually an alumni of the Strauss Institute. He was in the first graduating class a million years ago. But I digress. So now I did notice that you have a unique practice in that you do both arbitration and mediation.
Yeah.
And normally people choose one or the other. How does it feel to manage both of those processes in one practice? How do you do that?
Yeah, I think because I had lived in both of those worlds throughout my career, and so it didn't make sense to me to sort of choose one or the other. And so I've offered both of them as a service. And I think that, now that I'm actually in it, it's interesting because I can see sort of the parallels between the two worlds. So, the mediation or the mediator skills that come into my arbitration practice are, for example, the management of a preliminary hearing. And really, I do think of that as sort of a mini mediation within the arbitration process. The same thing with the, discussions amongst the panel. Oftentimes that also becomes sort of like a mediation. And then on the flip side, when you're in a mediation, one of the big complaints that I always heard when I was in-house is that, people wanted a mediator who would, sort of lay things out for them, give them their options, not just sort of run back and forth between the room with numbers flying around.
Yeah.
And so I think that, as a mediator, you're not necessarily in a process to make decisions, but you can certainly be, a bit firmer and more, I think, of a support system for the parties, not necessarily becoming an arbitrator, but using some of the skills that are developed traditionally on the arbitration side.
Yeah. And now that's a trend, though, that I've noticed over the last 25 years also, is that we used to be generalists.
Right.
And it was primarily shuttle mediation. And over time, like in lots of different industries, medicine, etc., we have become more specialized. people want us to be more evaluative because it uses their time and their money more effectively and more efficiently. And so your ability to do that, and I know it's successful because I've read your reviews, people really do appreciate that you have that capability. And they do want your expert opinion on their situation. And that you can provide that is a really good service to your clients. So good for you. So I noticed one other thing, and I wanted to ask you about this. And it's unique in the ADR world. You use the phrase and the process project management in your practice. Help me understand what that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when I was in-house, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I was sent off to project management school and received my certification as a project manager. And it was something that we all used at that time on our various different, initiatives and assignments. But over time, I could see that the application of project management systems and Lean and Six Sigma precepts clearly has a lot of, or could have a lot of usage in the mediation and arbitration space. So oftentimes when you're using project management on a project, it is to manage cost, to make sure that the process is running efficiently, to make sure that you have a clear methodology for identifying risks and then managing those risks in the event that they arise. All of these things are equally important in an arbitration or in a mediation. And so what I've done over the course of the past couple of years is to develop systems where I am able to sort of think through my processes based on project management, the stages of a project in project management, and then also utilizing Lean and Six Sigma, systems in order to better the mediations and arbitrations that I'm working in. And over the course of this past weekend, I was just writing an article on the applications of Lean and Six Sigma to the arbitration space and how parties and arbitrators can start thinking about how to use these tools to make the ADR processes work better.
That's fantastic. What a great, powerful tool to use. So now on your website, I know that there is a blog, and I did read the articles. You're a really, really good writer. And so for the viewers, you can log on to GleasonAlvarezADR.com. You can see all of Erin's bio, more about the processes, more about project management, read the blog articles. They're really intelligently written. Very well done. I'm going to put the link to your website in the description down below so people can click right over to your website and find you. But then I know from our previous email exchanges that you were super busy, and you were so nice, even so polite, when you asked if you could put off this interview because you wanted to be able to announce the launch of a new initiative.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm super excited to hear about it. I can't wait to find out what it is you're doing.
Yeah. So, well, thank you. And thank you for your patience. In February of this year, I launched a new company, which is called Take Charge Negotiations. And it is something that I created to support women in learning negotiation skills.
So necessary.
Yeah.
So necessary. Yeah.
It's a really lovely thing to be able to do. And I'm doing it because I had been doing this on an informal basis for many years with girlfriends and female colleagues. And the issue that seems nearly universal is this sort of trepidation over asking for things that you're clearly entitled to for fear of appearing pushy or aggressive. And it just, it was so frustrating because I think it's quite clear that those concerns are causing many women to lose out on opportunities and to lose money. So, so I created the company a couple of months ago. I have been so floored by all of the support that I've received from, you know, the ADR and arbitration communities within that time. And so it's a great privilege to be able to do this, I think.
That's fantastic. And now you're going to offer actual classes about how we make a plan, how do we negotiate, how do we set up our strategy. It's not something that most young women are taught. And some of us are even from a place where it's considered impolite to do these things. It's not feminine. It's not the gentle thing that, you know, our gender is you know, expected to do. And so, but you're going to actually have classes. Tell me about the classes.
Yeah, so I have one coming up later this month. It starts on April 22nd, and it's called Mindful Negotiations. And the class is divided into 3 different segments. The first is focused on planning and how to develop a negotiation plan that has nothing to do with sort of the cyclone of anxiety and horror that often goes into the thought processes that we have before a negotiation. This is a much calmer, systematic way of thinking about things. And the second part is talking about, you know, what are effective ways for you to communicate your best position, to listen actively, and to be, you know, a confident participant in the process. And then the last segment is, you know, how to deal with the inevitable difficulties that come with negotiating with other humans, because some of them don't know how to behave well. So we must develop strategies for teaching them.
Well, and I think that negotiation, in my experience, is one of those things that maybe wasn't super comfortable the first time I was in that position.
Right.
But I was lucky to have someone like you support me and say, it's okay, just try this, and you know, it's okay, you can, you know, try this other thing and keep working at it. And the confidence that it gives and builds and continues to empower me with is an invaluable skill set to have. And so I suspect that some of the women that join your class are a little trepidatious at the beginning. And I would just encourage them to, you know, use the skills, try them. And with each time you try, each time you put yourself forward using these skills, it gets easier, it becomes more natural. And over time, you don't even realize any longer that you're actually negotiating when you really are. But the confidence that it provides people in so many areas of their life is what a great skill set to offer women. Really good work. Good job, Erin.
Thank you.
Good job. I'm so proud to know you. And you know also that whatever you need for your women's group, whatever support you need, you let me know. You give me a shout out, and I'm there. I've got your back.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, it's absolutely my pleasure. It's important for everyone to have these skills. So, and I'm going to put the link to your initiative program. Tell us again what the website is.
It's Take Charge Negotiation. So www.takechargenegotiate.com.
Takechargenegotiate.com, and they can sign up for the class. And of course, you know, I'll put the link up for the site and the class on all of my social media, and we'll put it out there and get people to this class. Super important skill set to have. Well, Erin, I really, really appreciate talking to your beautiful self. You're such a lovely human being.
Thank you.
You're just a good human, and I'm really pleased to count you among my colleagues. So we'll put all of your information in the description bar so that people can connect with you. They can contact you, ask you questions, hopefully sign up for these classes or recommend the classes to someone that they think might need a little bit of help in that arena.
Yeah.
You know, we all need a little support system. And I want to just ask before you go, and I know that you're, you know, tightly booked and don't have a whole lot of time. I was just curious, what is your the most fun thing about what you do? What's your favorite part about the work you do?
I never know what to expect. Every day is completely different.
You're such an adventurous soul. I love that about you.
Yeah. No,
So
it's great. There's always new people to meet and to help. And, the fact that I have a job that helps people to put bad situations to rest, and to give them peace as they move on is I think a gift. So I'm very lucky.
Well, it's the loveliest of gifts because it is very fulfilling work that we do.
Yeah.
But the people that walk out of your hearing rooms, they were just gifted, the ability to sleep at night, to, put things to rest, to move on, to no longer have the stress, to no longer have the expense of a litigated case, all of those things, just sort of drift away. And so it is a great gift on our end as the neutral service provider, but the people that are in our hearing rooms, they get a great gift. So, well, Erin, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I'm so looking forward to the success of this new initiative for teaching women to negotiate. So that's that just touches my little heart, makes my heart go pit-a-pat. Well, thanks very much, Erin, and I really hope to have you back on because we want to hear about all your success stories.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah.